Peace. All right. So, every now and again, things strike me, right? And as they strike me, is sometimes I share, sometimes I don't. The majority. If I said everything that came through my little knot head, yeah, I think I was crazy, or it would confirm that I was crazy. But there are those things and events that occur and the reactions in the masses of the people that cause me to, think that it makes some sense to speak, kind of talk through some things, right? And just for the sake of intelligent conversation. Well, y'all remember the movie Do the Right Thing? Remember Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee joint? Dope, right? I mean, we didn't have nothing like that. Well, it was actually quite elementary, the way that he put it together, right? It was very elementary. What he did was he introduced you to every character. One by one, he introduced you to every single character. He put them into situations. He let them unfold so that you could see who that person was and how they might react in a given situation. So from bugging out, you know what I'm saying? From his sister, his beautiful sister, to Spike, to Vino and Pino, right? From the mayor, from Radio Raheem, right? Remember the big cop, right? That when the water, when the kids was playing with the water and they sprayed the dude down on his car, the big cop that was out there all brolic talking all kinds of shit, right? So what they did was they introduced you to each and every single character, and then they lit a powder keg, let it go off, and showed you the reaction of the group, right? So it introduced you to all the players and then put you in a scenario and let it happen, okay? So in America, you've just been privy, forget America, globally, you have just seen the impending failure of the healthcare systems all over the world, every country, Italy, Spain, UK, China, India, all over the world, not Africa, not Africa, but all over the planet Earth. You have seen the healthcare systems at the brink of total collapse. You've watched the economy, right, at the brink of complete and total collapse. You've watched the political system absolutely in the toilet, right? Absolutely in the toilet. You watched the social system crumble before your eyes. They stormed the Capitol, right? You watched the healthcare, you watched the economy, you watched the filtration and water systems fail, right? You've watched utilities fail in Texas. You watched the educational system fail, right? You have watched all of the systems that the colonizer has produced to create a stable infrastructure fail. I'm going to step back a little bit because no man can build a firm house on the sand. The sand will give, it'll settle, it'll move, and that property will fall. You cannot build on the sand. For centuries, those who raised the children in America were our families. It was our mothers. It was our fathers and grandfathers that raised and reared the children. So if you want to say that Thomas Jefferson was a great man, then you must attribute it to the woman who raised him. If you want to say that Abraham Lincoln was a great man, then you must attribute that greatness to his rearing. right? If you would like to say that the people that America would call the founding fathers and the greatest men and greatest minds in the world, if you want to call them great, then you must attribute that greatness to the women that raised and reared them. You must attribute it to the people responsible for raising them. Yeah. So it was Uncle Ben and the mammy that is responsible for giving you the moon. They are the ones that are responsible for producing any semblance of morality and humanity. All of the most positive attributes that America would embrace and show the world as themselves actually came from us. After the Emancipation Proclamation, they were forced to raise their own children. They were forced to do it themselves. And so from that era, you get the Charles Mansons. From the point where they began to manage and raise their own families and children, you get the Jeffrey Dahmers. You get the monsters of the world when they took control of raising their own families. So I tied a couple of disparate objects together, right? I spoke to the movie Do the Right Thing and the elementary nature in which it was produced. Introduced you to all of the characters, showed you what they would do in a given situation, created a situation, let it happen, right? I'm telling you, in America, this is exactly what you have watched. The universe has shown you that every single element and every single thing that they built and produced based on committing a genocide against the native people of this continent, based on doing a paper genocide of the native people. I don't know if you can see, but the color of my skin is actually quite red. I don't know if you can see that. A paper genocide of the native people of this continent. They have committed atrocities over hundreds of years here on this continent in order to produce their solvency. And everything that they produced is rotting in their mouth. It's turning to ash in their mouth, right? Everything produced. And so one by one, you have had a glimpse at the challenge to each essential system that you need to exist. Forget politics, forget your ideology, forget what you talk about day in and day out. Forget all of that. Forget me. I'm saying you individually have just watched a threat to your economy, you personally, your economy, your healthcare, your education, your water, your food, your security. All of these things have been systematically jeopardized right in front of your eyes within the last 2 years. And still, you sit comfortable in this condition. You sit comfortable. Why did I mention Do the Right Thing? Because just like in that movie, it has introduced you, it has shown you all of the things that hold this infrastructure up. And it has shown you that they are fallible, that they are so arrogant. Wait a minute, you don't see, and my people really don't, right? I'm in cybersecurity. That's what I do. That's why I got dope microphones and black, and this is what I do. I teach governments how to protect themselves. Should have called me before the water got hacked. Huh? Should have called me before the gas got hacked. You might have learned how to protect your shit. That's what I do, right? But okay, imagine the arrogance that your critical water systems are front facing and on the internet so that anyone can set any number of processors against your firewall and just have them constantly running passwords, constantly trying passwords as a process of elimination. Just constant, right? Imagine being so arrogant that the thing that maintains life, water, you are so arrogant that your systems are forward facing and anybody anywhere can connect to any dam you want. You can connect to the Lake Murray Dam over in South Carolina right now. It's open, it's public. They put it on the internet because they're lazy and they don't want to do the job to go in there and maintain it. So they put it on the internet so they can maintain it remotely. Yeah, this is why. This is why that gas pipeline was that way. So that remote control of it could happen. Well, guess what happens when you make remote control an option? There is the potential that a malicious actor will remotely control your shit. I mean, this isn't rocket science, right? What this is arrogance. They're critical systems. See, you think that they are so much more intelligent than you. You think that these people that are controlling the very things that you live or die based on having access to are so much smarter than you, that they're so much more well-adjusted than you, that they're so much more conscious and have more, and guess what? They're idiots. They are idiots. The people that you think are so, and you put all of your trust in, are idiots. And worse than idiots, they're maniacal. They are maniacal, right? But okay. Their arrogance is putting their critical systems in a forward-facing capacity so that anybody, I mean, this is complete arrogance, right? So that anybody in the world, if you choose, yeah, man, take a shot, roll the dice. My cybersecurity infrastructure is so tight, none of you could ever impact my water or my fuel supply or my supply chain or my air traffic controllers or any of my critical infrastructure elements. Nobody. I'm just that great. These are these arrogant people, and we follow behind this shit like it's true, right? We don't have not the slightest concern that potentially white people are not supreme. So I said it on a post the other day, and this dude came up and he said, "Oh, so you believe the white people are supreme, huh? That's something wrong with you." Yeah, I heard him talking, right? I heard him bumping his gums. And so I asked him very clearly, if the water goes off, what do? Can you filter your own? Can you hunt, kill, skin, clean, and prepare your own food? Can you fish? Can you produce the 7 most important knots that there are? Can you tie rope? Can you do that? Can you build shelter? Can you produce power? Can you do anything that is used to have defined a man throughout history? See, man wasn't just defined because you got hair on your lip and an erection. That wasn't man. See, that don't make you a man. You understand? What makes you a man is your utility. It is your tenacity. It is your capacity to go through some shit, right? That's what makes you a man. But so we're sitting here and this dude says to me, yeah, no, so you believe in white supremacy. I says to him, doesn't matter what I believe in. You believe in white supremacy because every single day your plans are predicated on white people being there and taking care of you like you was they bitch. Huh? That's what is true. It's not that I believe in white supremacy. It's that you have not lifted one single finger to diminish your dependency on another man. And then you got the nerve to come talk bold to me? Really? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Don't come at me because those things that I have said, which are true, tend to leave a bruise on your spirit. Let that bruise turn into a callus and do something about it. And if you want to do something and come talk to me, you can do that. I would suggest your better option is do something to solve the problem. Do something to solve the problem. So, and everybody believes, everybody has this idea. See, there's a connotation and a denotation to every single word. And so what happens is the people believe that every time somebody speaks, they are speaking of their opinion. And so everybody has this MTV philosophy that says everybody has a truth, and there's my truth, and there's your truth, and there's all these subjectives, and you can build on and add on and all of these things. Yeah. But at the end of the day, what is common and what is important is that we define what is true, drill down to the finest component to find out what is true. You have to name that. See, true is a static value. It's a static value. True is. True means that 360 degrees of scrutiny have been applied, and it has withstood that scrutiny at every single degree. Not in one single degree was there a failure. Was there a single area where it did not prove true? If there was a single degree within 360 where we found a single false, then by definition the thing cannot be true, right? True is a static value. So, again, if those things that I am saying are able to port, if they can apply to me, if they can apply to the Hawaiian, the Russian, the Hungarian, the Chinese, the Eastern European, the Indo-Chinese, if it can apply to those in East India, if it can apply to every man on the planet Earth, if those things that I am saying are a priority for the birds and for the serpent, and they are a priority for the lion, they're a priority for the beasts in the field, it is true that they are a priority for everyone, then they must, by definition, be true. By definition, these must be true. So, if without water, every one of those groups and every one of those species dies, then water is the most valuable thing. And yet, we spend not a minute looking to control our own water. Not until it runs dry, right? You never miss the water until the well runs dry. I've been standing here for years upon years saying the same thing. You can go back 10 years ago and you find the video. You can find me having stood with Brother Umar and saying these words while he was glitter. I'm the, right? You can see me saying these exact same words. Well, here's what I suggest. Look around you. Look at the greedy, apathetic people of this nation. They said there was a gas hack. The gas hack didn't affect the supply yet. There has been no impact to the supply yet at all. You know the impact? The impact is the greedy, selfish, apathetic people that have raced out and try to hoard everything that they can because they're afraid that there is not enough, right? And this is how capitalism works. It tells you that there is a limited supply, so it increases the value of a given thing, and it makes the masses of the people say, oh my God, I gotta get it because I need to have that, right? I don't care what that would have, but I gotta have mine, right? Yeah, so, but it's a falsehood. There is no shortage, right? There's no shortage of anything on this planet Earth. Again, that's capitalism's lie, okay? So we sit in this condition. And I'm watching my people, watching all of these systems fail. And again, while their lips will say, we don't believe white people are supreme, and they'll talk all of these supercalifragilistic, extra freaking conscious words, right? They'll do all of that talking, but at the end of the day, they have absolutely no plan to control their water within the next 72 hours. They have absolutely no plan to control their food within the next 30 days. They have absolutely no plan to be able to control completely their security, their health care, their education, their sanitation, their utilities, their heat, their cold. They have no plan outside of counting on another man to do it. Yo, let me tell you something. What this is, really, this is my swan song, man. The work that we've done has taken off in all different areas. You'll see pictures tomorrow as we begin to clear the land and produce construction projects in Zambia, right? I'm finishing up. This is finishing up. You see the resort in Arusha, Tanzania? Yeah, we finishing up, man. Everything that I have said, everything that we have worked on has come to fruition. We've got water filtration and bottling facilities. We've got food growing. We've got livestock. We've got building supplies. We've got places that we can go. We've got the reputation and the capacity to go anywhere in the African continent and do whatever we need and have whatever we need because of building in advance of our need. So I'm on the wind down, right? I'm on the wind down for real. The members of the Ledge Group, those who are members, it was brilliant for them to have recognized so early on what it was that was being said and adopted that. Brilliant. So again, we on the wind down. All I'm doing is I'm pointing the facts out to you. I'm telling you where you are, right? You think that at every interval and no matter what, white people are going to rise again. They are going to triumph, right? They're going to overcome absolutely everything. But I promise you with everything in me, one day they will not. And our parents and our grandparents told us that. See, this isn't new. They have been telling us this as long as we have been, and we have ignored our parents. We have ignored the body of knowledge from our elders. We've ignored Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad. I mean, read the book. It's called The Fall of America. Everything is illustrated there. We have ignored entirely those that came before us because MTV put on music videos and we can't help but watch a dancing monkey and glitter. And we just love it. We got to get the bag. Oh, we've got to do what they say. We've got to do every single thing they say. Yeah. We follow every single cue that they put in place, right? Well, again, as a result of that, the masses of the population are reduced to being incapable of even defining the instruments of their oppression. You don't even know what you need in order to survive. Not only do you not know, you don't have the tools to be able to do it if you did. Furthermore, there is no way that you have any of the tools to be able to sustain that over an amount of time. So if you had to produce your own water for the next 30 days or indefinitely, how would you? So what does that make you? It makes you an albatross. It makes you a liability. Somebody has to provide your water, and you ain't never took a single hand to do it for yourself. I don't care where you are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care. If you do not have any capacity, if you don't have utility, guess what? Your pretty face, your big butt, all the money in the world, that shit don't matter. If you can't filter water, then you're a liability because I'm going to need to provide you with enough water to stay alive, which means we take away from the group. So what can you do? If you can do nothing, then you are dead weight, and you have been dead weight, and you have existed in this condition until you are comfortable as dead weight. And then have the nerve to come and use big words with me and talk tough with me, right? When you've taken no hand, you know how you define a man. You know what is a man? A man is responsible for his own needs, mistakes, actions. That is a man, right or wrong. Responsible is the key word. And today, we have been whittled to the point where we are not responsible for any of the essential needs that keep us alive, and we are comfortable in that place. We've got the nerve to line up and paint signs and say, treat me nice while I'm your bitch. Treat me nice while I hold your belt loop and you provide for me my water, my food, my shelter, my health care. You educate my children. You provide my sanitation. You provide everything that keeps a being alive. And I take no hand in doing it myself, and then got the nerve to talk tough, or to ask for more, to march and whine and complain about how much food is on my plate. Well, you didn't do a damn thing to put that food on your plate, but you're going to complain about it. You're going to complain about the cleanliness of the water, but you did nothing to filter the water for yourself. Only got demands on who is providing it for you. Is that right? Is that right? See, you've been sunned so long, you don't know how to be a man. You've been sunned so long, you don't know how to be a man. So therefore, you can open up your mouth to this man that is providing your every essential need and say, I need you to pat my head when you give it to me. I need you to treat me nicer when you give it to me. While you are providing every essential that I have in order to exist into tomorrow, I need you to act right when you do it. You ungrateful albatross. Do you hear me? You've taken no hand to produce them, but you got complaints. My mother used to say a mouthful of gimme and a handful of oblige. You've taken no hand to diminish your own dependency, and you got complaints. And now, here's the real kicker. Here's the real kicker, because now we're in the 11th hour. And guess what happens? I become the enemy, not the dependency. The people don't say, God damn, you know what? You're right. I need to learn how to filter water. I should have 3 gravity-based filters at all times, right? I should have a go bag. Peter gave me a free go bag, told me with links, everything that I needed to buy in order to be able to prepare my family to be able to survive indefinitely. Oh, you ain't got a go bag though, huh? Right? So you've taken no hand. You have simply and completely trusted the idea that white people were going to always be there to take care of you. This is what you have done. And I'm telling you, here we are. We in the 11th hour. And guess what? Elijah Muhammad said it in The Fall of America. Didn't read it, did you? Yeah, well, again, he said it. A day was going to come when the white man couldn't save himself. When he couldn't save himself. What does that mean for those who are tied to the success or failure of him, that are sitting there like little baby birds with their mouth open, waiting for a worm? What does that mean for you? If they come to the point where they can't save themselves, what does that mean for you? What does that mean for your babies, huh? And how do you live tomorrow? How do you live 10 minutes, knowing this and not actively taking a solid plan to do something about it? How? And then I see you on Facebook talking, posting bullshit that don't mean nothing, right? And all that shows me is how comfortable you are. How you think they'll always be there to save you. They'll always have the water. They're always going to make it. They are supreme. They can't fail. You believe this. And as a result of believing that, that gives you all the free time in the world. I work 24 hours a day. You got all the free time in the world to just talk incessantly about nothing. What do you think about my butt? What do you think about love in the 21st? What do you think about like inane bullshit? Yeah, you know why? That's because you think they're supreme and you think tomorrow is promised. And you think that the water is just magic. You think that all of these things will just always be there. So you're completely confident. But I suggest that you should look at what you have most recently seen, very much like Do the Right Thing. They introduced you to every character, and then they created a condition and let the powder keg blow. Guess what? You've just watched every player relative to the solvency of an infrastructure for a country get jeopardized. You just watched it happen. Healthcare, economy, political, social, you've watched the educational, you've watched the supply chains, you've watched the fuel supply, you've watched the utilities, you've watched absolutely every single foundational beam that holds a nation up buckle. And yet you're still comfortable that white people got you, huh? Yeah, look, I don't know what to tell you. If you feel that comfortable, if you like it, I love it. You know what we do? We build the solution. We've been building the solution. We started building the solution. We started building an ark on a sunny day, and now it's raining. Yo, again, you can find me. You can find us. You know the work that we do. You can look all over the world, north, south, east, west, central Africa. You can find our name, and you can find our footprint that will last like unto the pyramids for 1,000 generations into the future. Our work will stand. Our hospitals will stand. Our resorts will stand. Our houses will stand. You know who we are. You've seen what we've done, right? And so, again, we on the phase out. We about to move out of this condition. Y'all want to move your families now? You think it might make some sense to get away? Maybe the idea or the prevailing thought is that these people are just going to go away like a rapture or something, and all of the buildings and the infrastructure are going to be in place, and you're just going to go and take their place, right? No, that's not the way it happens. It's not a fantasy. This isn't like a story, right? That's not the way it happens. They will not gracefully just go away. First of all, no people can take them off. Who can take white supremacy off? It's entrenched everywhere. It is a network from Germany to UK to Israel to Russia. It is a network. Nobody can take it off. Who can? China? Can the Chinese take white supremacy off? No. Can India? No. They have intentionally eroded the population of the earth so that they would be unchallenged. But understand, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and it must come down, and you're watching it. So who's going to take white supremacy off? You? The Indian? Chinese? Who? No. They already put the nail in their own coffin. They will take themselves out. They've already done it. You're looking at the walking dead, and what is happening is you're following behind them like they're supreme. And they've got the answer. And they're the model by which you should pattern all that you love and you know after. But guess what? They're walking to hell. They're walking to hell. So the fantasy idea that, well, the white system will just fall and then we'll move into the White House and we'll be the new whites, that shit is fantasy. No. They're going out, and they will not go out gracefully. So every single thing connected to the system that is about to crumble will die. Period. I can't make it. I can't make that pretty. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't tell you something that isn't true. Everything that is tied to the success or failure of an evil giant that must fall will die. Every bit of this system, everything is done. It has to. It'll be reduced to ashes. And again, life will begin, right? Life will begin again. But the virus will die. Will die. And everything that is dependent on it will go with it. And so if you have no plan, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not. I'm telling you, this is an equation. 1 + 1 = 2. If you have no plan to move your families from this condition before he falls, then your plan is to watch them or have them have to live through its fall. And they can't survive it. They don't have the resources. You don't have the ability to survive it. A damn gas shortage is about to put you all in dire straits. Toilet paper had y'all messed up. You have no capacity to live 30 days if everything that white supremacy provided you disappeared right now. You can't do it. The majority of us can't do it. And instead of listening and planning according to intelligence and clearly defined hierarchy of needs, we bump on our gums. We talking about, did I find love on a two-way street? Did all that, 2021. And you still out here singing, dancing, shucking, jiving, listening to these minstrels and fools. And it is to the detriment of your babies. It is to the detriment of your loved ones and everything that you love and your progeny into the future, because it is inevitable. Rome will fall. This will fall. And everything that you hear everybody saying that is not primal need and controlling them and learning how to control them is wasting your time, and the time is precious. Hey, I don't know how many different ways I can say this. I don't know how many more times I'm going to address you and attempt to say this, right? But look, if you don't know, you will. And I wish you the best of luck. I encourage you. I invite you. You can join us, right? We move. We don't talk. I've seen hundreds of groups of Black folk start up and go away in the time that we've still been here. I've watched hundreds of groups start and disappear. All kinds of initiatives and all kinds of efforts. And this one turned out to be a scam. And this one, they got the bag and then they ran away. And this one started smoking crack and damn, right? I've seen hundreds of initiatives start and disappear. Guess what? Guess who's still here? We are. Guess who's still building? We are. Guess who's still growing? We are. You want to do something? You can. You are welcome. The window remains open. Find the Grand Rising on Facebook. Grand Rising. Find it on Facebook. From there, you can get to the Ledge Group, right? Through a strict set of protocols. You can then find your way to the Ledge Group and build with us. Get your own land. Get your own thing happening. Produce your own water. Control your own food. Control your own livestock. Control your own utility. Control your own healthcare and education. Be a man. Be a man. And that's some scary shit to mind. To say, be a man. Control it yourself without a safety net. And that is so scary. And it's almost an attack on my people when I say it to them. Be a man. And I offer you manhood, right? Malcolm X offered you manhood. Be a man. Take control of your own life, of that of your children, of that of those around you, and ensure solvency into the future, just like white people did for them, just like Chinese people do for them, just like Russians do for them, just like every other people in the world do for them. They ensure their own solvency, and we sit and wait for somebody else to produce our solvency. Our solvency is predicated upon the success of somebody else. How long are we going to live like that? How long? How many of your minstrels convince you that this makes sense? How many? Yo, I'm not putting anybody down, but I'm telling you, if they're talking about anything else outside of primal needs, they're a fool. They're wasting their time, and they are wasting your life. I've built and done as much as I can. I've spoken as consistently as I can, as eloquently as I have in me. I have done all that I can to warn you. And why? Why have I spent so much time? Because you know what the end result is? Imagine what those people felt in Tulsa when the white people formed skirmish lines with those M1 Garands, and they started walking through shooting babies, shooting women, shooting men, shooting everything that moved, shooting into every house, kicking through the doors, burning down, shooting everybody, man, babies. And they formed a skirmish line and they walked through Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, murdering every single person that they saw. You thought that was something, huh? You thought that was something, huh? Wait till their system collapses entirely, and it's coming. You watched every single load-bearing beam buckle just now, and you still comfortable in that house while the load-bearing beams are buckling. Is that right? Yo, if you are, there's nothing I can do. If you're not, find me. Find the Grand Rising page. My name is Peter Brown. Everybody know who I am. Find me. Find us. Join us. Put bricks in the wall and put your hands into your own liberation. Otherwise, good luck. Good luck. You know? All right. Peace.